Yeah. Hey, when I got 1 minute, can you just like say 1 minute?
I'll just do this all first.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Anyways, okay, thanks. Okay, so I'm the second affirmative, which means I'm going over workability and disadvantage arguments. And so I'll kind of sum up my stuff before I go over it. So reasons why I think that we shouldn't be enacting this legislation is, number one, people will start finding ways to have genetic enhancement through other means, like going to other countries and using a black market. Number two, regulating genetic enhancements will prevent scientific and economic progress. Number three, enacting legislation on something before we even have a clear idea of what it is both wasteful and irresponsible. Okay, so doing the circumvention arguments, people can avoid the U.S. genetic modifications through by going to other countries. I mean, like a great parallelism would be organ transplants. Right here I have the World Health Organization. They said that the most common way to trade organs across national borders is via potential recipients who travel abroad to undergo organ transplantation, often called transplant tourism. So there's ways to have medical procedures outside of your own country. So I mean, there's ways to circumvent the law right there. Another way, black market. In the UK, I got a professor here named Michelle Shears. She's the criminal justice professor at AMU, and she talks about a situation in which there was like a young girl who was smuggled from Somalia to the UK, where they took all her organs and sold them on the black market. And so if people will do things that unethical in the UK on the black market, don't you think that there might be some more, people might be more prone to using the black market for something that's not seen as unethical? Like genetic modification is not the same thing as ripping some organs out of a child. So there's that for one. And then I'll move on to disadvantage arguments. We're definitely going to be missing out on a lot of economic progress because, as we see more and more specialization through technology. I mean, if you look at like the agricultural revolution, the tech revolution, we get more and more diversity of jobs, and with that generally becomes the demand for higher intelligence overall. I mean, being a farmer and being a physicist are different things, and so there's a higher concentration of intellectual jobs demanded now, I guess I would say. And so having the ability to artificially boost the intelligence of your population overall will obviously be a great thing, and it's almost going to be essential for us to progress in the future. I mean, oh man, I had some quotes for back there, but saying, okay, well, some examples of the job market changing right now is, I mean, the types of jobs that are growing the most from 2008 to 2018 were management and professional occupations. That's right, there's some evidence of that. And then my last point for disadvantage is enacting a law on this when we still don't really know how exactly it's going to look. We don't know all the specific particulars of it. Is both wasteful and irresponsible because, I mean, it's going to waste congressional time at the moment, and also whenever a law is passed, there's usually pork barreling in it. And do you guys know what pork barreling is, or do I need to explain that? Okay, I'll define it. Pork barreling is like this is from the Economist. It's when the number of earmarks defined as funding for pet projects introduced by congressmen and senators to benefit their districts or states. basically it's like when a congressman brings in something and they're like, hey, I want this passed. And so basically the whole country ends up spending money on their little thing, whereas that's not necessarily the goal. So there's gonna be extra money spent no matter what. I mean, you're not just gonna get a law passed without any struggle there. You gotta whip votes and everything like that. Takes resources. I guess I'll start wrapping it up then. So, to reiterate, I want to say people are still going to do genetic enhancement through the black market and other countries. Number two, regulating genetic enhancements will prevent economic and scientific progress. Oh, I never mentioned the scientific progress. There's like extra advancements through every, like whenever something is, 1 minute, nice. Whenever, like, okay, let's look at the space race. I mean, we weren't looking to make Velcro and Teflon, but those things came out of it. There's gonna be other things that come out of genetic modification research. I mean, think about how many diseases will be cured by not having all those regulations and stuff holding us back. My last point was that enacting legislation was something that would be wasteful at the moment also. That was a bad conclusion, but thanks for listening.